Hello Eric, again, this is Koji from Celestial Rhythms, and this is the second part of this presentation on March 13, New Moon in Pisces. Powerful, powerful new moon of new creation in the 24th degree of Pisces, 2303. As I mentioned in my previous video, this is hexagram 36 and the first line. So what we are here now seeing is the chart for that moment when the moon was exactly aligned with the sun, 5:21 a.m. on the 13th, and the 27th degree of Aquarius was rising in DC. So this month is very critical for that reason, that this is the moon in the American nations chart, and as I show you here, the moon at 27 degrees in Aquarius. So it resonates with the American nations soul, so to say, very much, and that same degree was rising when the last solar eclipse was at its maximum of December 14th, 2020 for Washington. You see 27 degrees Aquarius, and also that same degree was at the ascendant on November the 25th, when that first big hearing was held in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Very relevant choosing that place. Every one of you who knows American history knows Gettysburg was really much the birthplace of the first American Revolution. So that was chosen intentionally. And was this timing chosen intentionally, or was it just divine synchronicity? It doesn't really matter. Everything is synchronized in a wonderful way. That's the 11:11 moments we all have. It's always that little cosmic affirmation we're getting. Yes, you're on track. Yes, you are in sync with the greater universe. That is one of these moments, and as we see, this is the same degree again repeated, and Mercury was exactly here on the ascendant by 11 minutes of arc in the 12th house here with the other planets in Aquarius. The 12th house is interesting. It's very Piscean in that sense, so it resonates with that whole Piscean energy. It's energies which come out of a hidden angle, of the unseen. It's an influence which cannot really yet be nailed down, so that there's some hidden movements which are dominating this next 4-week period, as I pointed out, very much in resonance with the hexagram 36, darkening of the light. Those of you who haven't listened to that yet, it's the one I just did prior to this one. If we now go, well, let me say one more time, one more thing, the midheaven here, 11 degrees Sag, 11 degrees Gemini, the 4th house cusp, the root, that is Aldebaran and Antares, the two royal stars which are in this axis. That's okay, and now we go to the midpoint. Yeah, let me just say this much. Okay, let's go back quickly to this chart, and you see the node 14 degrees Gemini and 14 degrees Sag, and let's just zoom back here to the American nations chart. You see again, this is the a powerful degree for the American people. It is their rooting line, so to say, which connects heaven and earth. That's what these two places are here. The heaven literally is growing out of earth. That's the eastern horizon, and that's the western horizon, where the heaven is setting down into earth. So it is those two connecting places which are truly suspension points in a way. Very important, the descendant in every personal chart, and naturally also in a nation's chart. So these degrees are really emphasized, and I mean, if we go here, you see the node is just approaching, nodes are moving backwards, so the nodes are tuning into this axis in the next few weeks, empowering the approaching one another energy. You see, that's the north node is here. That's the destination, kind of where we are meant to move towards, to meet each other halfway. It is that mending, that bonding, which is happening now on so many levels, as people are more and more waking up and realizing what truly is going on, what they have been fooled with. It's happening at the mass scale, and that's the reason the good guys have been holding off on big action, because time is working for us, and it's all about keeping casualties at the minimal level. Yes, there's many people who are suffering from it, but it's their free will at this point. It's really boiling it down to that place. If you're allowing others to tell you what to do, then finally you are responsible for not doing the research and waking up in that sense. Yes, it's complex, but that's kind of the bottom line. It's better than bombs falling. So that has been kind of avoided by going this route. So the 9 have said it before. Those of you who are not familiar with the 9, it's that collective off-planet group which is giving their insights through magenta pixie, and they have been very accurate on many occasions. So yeah, they were giving us many hints, and well, now I guess I lost the train of my thought, but never mind, it will come back to me in time. I go back to the new moon chart here. Now, also interesting here is CERES. CERES in the ascendant axis here, in the descendant, at the descendant actually, CERES is the bear's, a mother bear's energy to protect her cubs. It can be very fierce, standing up for one another, protecting the weak, protecting the children, standing up for those who need it most. T-squaring Setna, yes, it is. We're having to face abuse in its worst kind, but also the unknown, the alien factor comes in here of Setna, coming back from a 11,000 year plus orbit around the sun, coming in from deep space, bringing all these mysteries and secrets with it. Setna being named after an Inuit goddess who rules the beneath ocean world, which is a probably the most unknown part of our universe, less unknown even than deep space. Many mysteries are hiding there, so all these mysteries are tackled into, and the black moon here at the cusp of the third house, interesting, shows all the shocking revelations which are coming our way in those next few weeks to the general public. It's really an eye-opening time on many levels. That's what this chart shows. So if we now go into the midpoints with this moment has with the American nation's base chart of July the 4th, 1776, I just again want to focus on the few highlights. This one here stands out as it's exact, AW197, which is a stealth fighter, an intrusion into the enemy's lines, an infiltration from within. So also it is the art of war which this trans-Neptunian object resonates with, the stratagem. To say President Trump has this very, very strongly placed conjunct his birth sun mid-Gemini here, somewhere in this degree. And certainly this is also the energy of Aikido, of allowing the enemy to do the first move and then use that momentum and redirect it and defeat the enemy by its own move. That's kind of what we're watching here in real time happening in the next few weeks. I'm zooming on to the next chart here, and this is now the CERES CHIRON conjunction, which happened just a few hours after New Moon yesterday. You see, it was the Moon 3 degrees plus ahead of the Sun. That's about the 6-hour period, 6 hours after New Moon. So first of all, CERES is representing Gaia. It's the Earth goddess. It's the largest asteroid. It's spherical, holds more water, they say, than planet Earth, has lots of frozen oceans. Chiron is the wounded healer, bringing resolve. But first, things have to be uncovered, brought into the light. It's the physician who is doing the real job, who is not just covering things up, who goes to the root of the problem. So this is really the start of a multi-year cycle we are seeing here. Chiron is on a 51-year orbit, CERES roughly about 4 years. So this only happens every 4+ years that these two meet, starting a new cycle. And this is the energy of healing Earth, of bringing problems to the forefront and healing them. And this was exact in Washington, D.C., when Venus and Neptune and the Sun were exactly here at midheaven. Very, very interesting that this alignment is here in the center of the sky, makes us even more wanting to look at this moment when Venus and Neptune then exactly conjuncted, which was a few hours later again, which we will get into in a minute. This is the same chart, CERES Chiron conjunction, for Greenwich, the global chart, and I just want to bring your focus here on this again, this 10th degree of Sagittarius and Gemini. Again, Aldebaran and Antares. I wrote about this earlier. This is the warring zone we're having here. Aldebaran is opposing Antares, bringing the conflict into focus. It is a powerful opposition of the two of the brightest stars close to the sun's path. Interesting also that the American nations progressed. Uranus is exactly at this point here, and the natal Uranus naturally not far behind at 8:55. Here you see it once more, 8:55. So this is a supercharged area in the American nations chart. Also CERES here. CERES again, Mother Bear's energy to protect her cups. So lots of energies which have been kind of sleeping are wakened. That's what this speaks about. Now, this is okay, that's the one we were just talking, the global chart of that moment with this axis here, this plumb line, which is really the zero meridian. What stands above the zero meridian at that moment in time. And then this is the heliocentric chart. I thought I throw this in too because it's exceptional. That is the moment when CERES and CHIRON from Earth's point of view were in perfect alignment. Now in the heliocentric picture, naturally these are slightly in a different place because the angle is different. However, what stands out in that moment, which shows the energetic picture, is Mercury. Mercury mid-Sag, and Mercury moves pretty fast in heliocentric astrology. It moves once around the whole zodiac in 88 degrees. 88 days is the cycle Mercury has to make one full round around the sun. So it is exceptional that Mercury is here exactly squaring the mid-heaven axis of this global chart. In that sense, we are doing kind of a transference here. We're transferring the earthen 4 suspension points of that moment over to the sun, which gives that resonance. Mercury here, again, the one which brings awareness, clarity, makes us understand things in a context, being able to compare. Mercury is the planet of us humans in that sense. What makes us different from animals? The ability to perceive future and past, to have that memory. Memory is also a mercurial thing. Venus here at the 7th house cusp, very beautiful too. See, Venus is a little behind from where it is in geocentric astrology. In geocentric, it's here real close to Neptune on that same day. Seen from the sun, it's a bit behind, but exactly conjuncting the 7th house cusp, which is showing the intention which we have globally here energetically, just bringing back harmony and love. Venus in Pisces, that abundance of emotions which want everyone to feel good and to be in peace. Estrella here, cleaning up. Yes, that's what we're up to. Palace at the vertex. vertex is the higher dimensional focus toward our surrounding world, palace, art, science, understanding, again a very mercurial energy of being able to see patterns. So we are helped on all levels here by the cosmic energies to see through what we have been disguised with, what we have been deceived with, that's the word I want to use. So if we now go on with a few hours later, and we go back to the the geocentric chart quickly once more, where you see this is when CERES and CHIRON were exact at the same point, the scene from Earth, which was 5:09 p.m. on Saturday, yesterday evening in Greenwich. Also, these two were pretty much at the 8th house cusp, at the Scorpionic house cusp, showing even more so that this is a dive into the deep, into the intense levels of where things can be really dark, and it is to bring light and to bring clarity into that healing. Again, that is a 4-year cycle beginning we are here looking at, to be very clear. So if we now go a few hours into the future, then again from that moment when Venus will be exact in the same degree as Neptune, so that is, bear with me, that is this degree, this chart, okay. So that is then 11 p.m. on the 13th. These are all nodal charts, beginning charts. That's not really saying that things are happening in that moment. That is one thing one has to be very clear here. I'm not saying anything particularly happened in that moment. It's putting in a foundation, rebooting the system in a way to set the pace into a new direction, to turn the rudder in a new area, kind of bring the focus in a different way. So what this chart really is in Pisces here, with Venus and Neptune, with the new moon, and this is a beautiful sequence of planets. You see it's Neptune, Venus, Sun, then the moon in Aries, and then there's Salacia here, which is about enjoyment, enjoying what we're doing. I guess there's lots of enjoyment in this creation of the new earth. We are very we are those who know, we are excited. I guess that's the best word to say. It's an exciting time despite everything else. And then naturally there's Chiron reconfiguring at the very base level, bringing healing to Mother Earth. And this is, this is divine love, really, Venus and Neptune. This is beautiful in Pisces. Neptune in its own sign. Venus very well placed in Pisces. This is what we felt and what we still feel, and which will resonate on for a while. That kind of interconnectedness of everything else. Also, again, to show how deep this really goes, this is the Scorpionic decant, the third decant, the degrees 20 to 30 in Pisces, and also the Scorpionic Dwad, 20 to 22 and a half. where Venus and Neptune are meeting. Which again, that's scorpionic energy of going to the roots of things, going deep, not staying on the surface. Scorpio rising with Deucalion totally resonates with that now. Deucalion is Noah's energy. It's the same character in a different context. I guess one is Roman and the other one is biblical. Deucalion is the same energy, preparing for an unknown event, preparing for something which is not yet fully recognized by the big number of people. So this is laying the foundations for a new world. That's really what this means here in Washington. As we know, the American nation is really these are the people who are breaking the path, trailblazing this global rebellion against the dark forces. Blessed be the American people for their courage. Thank you so much. Without this great nation, we would never be able to overcome this darkness. This has been a long-standing plan, and it's just coming to a full circle, it seems, in these next weeks and months and years. Naturally, this is a gradual process, has to go organically. This is the midpoint chart between that Venus-Neptune conjunction and the American people's chart. And what I want to point out here is this degree, 18 degrees Virgo. And if we go back to the American nation's chart, this is where the black moon is, where the collective shadow is, the blind spot. That is where the dark energies had its entrance points, where they had the hook into the nation's psyche. That is getting exposed. That is what this means. Uranus rising, again Uranus with Chiron here. It will be an enlightening but also a shocking and unprecedented new territory we're moving into. If you look at the same moment, Venus-Neptune in Greenwich, Arrokoth and Hylanome here, flank at the ascendant, Arrokoth, seeing the whole picture. And this is again hexagram 61, inner truth. Pluto here at the very final point of that hexagram. Just want to throw in once more this picture here of the human design, showing you the actual activations right now. This is hexagram 61, where Pluto is in at, as you see, 98%. It's really close to the end. In a couple days or so it moves on into the next hexagram. So still this channel is activated, has been for most of 2020 and 2021. I have written about that. This is an important activation of the pineal gland collectively. The direct insight into things was possible for everyone who dared to open the eyes, and I guess many people have definitely woken up. There was a huge third wave of awakening, as the 9 pointed out in early last year, which started pretty much a year ago with Spring Equinox 2020. Which, if you can think back that far, that was when that big scam was pushed so hard, which really triggered that awakening of many who were just on the verge of it. And since, I mean, yes, it's a steady growth of that number of people. I think by now, here in North America, I'm here in Canada, my observation is probably 90% of people know that this is a scam which is pulled, that this is not real. They just follow because they're afraid to really they think they still might face police action and charges and whatnot, and penalties. But it's a small minority who really buys into the fear porn, which is pushed so hard. They're really overdoing it to the point where they're unbelievable. So this definitely helped and helps still. That hexagram 61 was a big assistance from the universe. Hexagram 61, inner truth, being able to see what really matters. By the way, Uranus is here on the other side. Hexagram 24, you see that is a return. That is this gate which then interacts with 61. Again, this is a generic pattern. This is what's called the human design in a nutshell. Very complex. It's the human design system. Those of you who are interested, you can look that up. I also once in a while post about it. And just want to throw in, I will teach classes soon. I'm starting to think about seriously. So just keep on the line, watch out, it might happen not too far in the future. So let's go back to astrology here, then last but not least, no, this is not, I think we're at the end. This was my personal chart there. So thanks again for joining and listening here, and yes, it's momentous times, very deep. These last few days before spring equinox are kind of the bottom end, the tail end of a yearly cycle. We're tapping into new energy by the 18th, and I show you again why. That's when we cross the line into hexagram 25. As you see here, this is the beauty of that system of the 64 hexagrams overlaying the I Ching, the 64 hexagram of the I Ching overlaying the zodiac. Sorry, stumbling here. The beauty of it is that these hexagrams are kind of bridging the past with the future. And there is this incubation time, and this will start on the 18th of March, early morning here in North America, into the 20th early morning, where there's still Pisces energy, but we're already in the new phase of hexagram 25, which is innocence, thunder below, heaven above. It is that energy of spring which already is clearly visible, not yet fully manifest. And then on the 20th of March, early morning, as I say, that is that beautiful moment when the sun is crossing the equator, when on all of Earth, from north to south pole, there's exactly 12 hours light, 12 hours darkness, perfect balance, a recharging of the Earth's magnetic sphere, you could say. The moment when the new natural year is born. And I will do another one on this in a few days. Thank you so much for joining and listening, and yes, have a lovely, lovely week. Enjoy the depth of emotion and of experience. It's one of a kind. We will remember these weeks and months for our whole lives. We will tell it to our kids and grandkids and many generations to come. This is a momentous time. This is biblical, what is going on. Absolutely. Okay? See you soon.